It's June 1st, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 52. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Hi, Todd. We're streaming live for the very first time on Twitch. Twitch.tv/nerdbourbon. How do you feel about this?
It's going to be an interesting experience. I feel like nobody's going to be watching this, but I feel like I'm going to be watched.
I do have Twitch chat pulled up in the off chance that somebody wants to watch our sweaty hut-like visages.
I mean, it might be more of a thing when we actually this is just more of a prototype sort of thing. Like if we see if we like it, but
so if this goes well, the plan is in year 2 to do this for every episode, basically to live stream the recording of every episode, and it's going to be obviously more raw. It's not going to be edited. It's going to be more raw than the kind of clean edited audio version you get, but you have a chance to listen to the show early. You have a chance to listen to our fat asses, and who knows? We might even strip on camera for you or something
that's terrible. And it's also a good thing that I just realized your fucking webcam was frozen on my OBS.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, I fixed it. Don't worry.
That sucks.
Right. It wasn't frozen for that long. It was just I was like had you looking dumb as shit for 2 seconds. I was like, the hell is that?
Perfect. Yeah, so I do have chat up just in case. So if you guys ever do tune into these live recordings, you have the opportunity to talk to us live potentially if you want to. I don't know. I think this is going to be interesting. I had this idea just kind of randomly the other day. We're thinking of stuff to do for year 2, and I don't know. I think it's a neat idea, and we're gonna see how it goes. I think it's gonna be a way to differentiate the YouTube channel. And yeah, it's just gonna be a little experiment. We're gonna test the waters here. So I want to jump right into it this week, Todd, because we've got a lot of shit to talk about.
Do we though? No, I'm just playing.
There's a lot, man. It's pre E3. Where there's a lot of hype. Where's your hype level at right now for E3?
You know what? It's my hype's kind of low, actually, in a weird way.
Is it really?
I don't know. I want to be excited, but then I'm just a part of me is I keep on forgetting that E3 is coming up.
This is actually an interesting thing that I wanted to talk about. And I think I mentioned this. I might have mentioned this last year when we were doing our E3 coverage. How much does E3 really matter anymore? You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, on some real shit, you can get away with it and just everybody just do their own fucking announcements.
Take and we'll get into this a little bit later, but take the way Bethesda has handled their pre-E3 approach this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they've announced 2 totally surprise games ahead of their conference.
Oh yeah. I was like, which 2 of them? I was I forgot about Rage for a second.
Rage 2 and now Fallout 76, which would have been complete surprises. Nobody would have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Either one of them. But they announced them both ahead of E3. I don't know, it's weird. And then Sony came out and they were saying look, our E3 conference, the first party games we're going to focus on is Spider-Man, Death Stranding, Last of Us, and why the fuck am I blanking on the 4th one? Ghost of Tsushima. Those are going to be the 4 first-party titles that they're focusing on, and then the rest of them are just going to be third-party. So it's weird. It's people are not taking E3, I guess, as seriously as they used to. It used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not really I don't know. It's not really that. I don't know. A little bit of it has been dispelled for me. Although it is nice. We're going to get into our E3 predictions pretty soon and get that recorded, and get into all that. But I mean, the hype cycle for me, I can't not be hyped about E3 because I'm looking forward to the yearly tradition that we have of watching it together and
having our face melt off when we watch EA.
Yeah, right.
That is. I want to just shout out that it's just every fucking year I feel like I want to kill myself during EA.
Yeah, EA's press conference is unilaterally the worst one every year. It's always so fucking bad.
It's legit probably 2 minutes of something I give a shit about, then the rest of it's just fucking shoot me.
Yeah, but you know, as happens every year, like even Nintendo had that Pokemon event a couple nights ago where they announced uh, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which we'll talk about in a minute. Huge announcement, like a fucking huge announcement that would have felt right at home during their
Yeah,
E3 Direct, you
yeah.
know? So I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, do you guys just not give a fuck? You know, like you guys just don't care anymore. Like, I don't know. And the reason is I think is because like E3, um, we get multiple E3s a year now. I mean, think
Hmm.
about it. We get for PlayStation like there's the Paris Games Week and
Yeah.
Gamescom and the PAXs and fucking PSX and all these. There's like 6 or 7 major conventions
Yeah,
every year.
yeah, that's really what it boils down to. Is like E3 is just it's not the only thing going on anymore.
It's just another one,
Yeah,
you know. But in spite of that, there's some interesting shit. A lot of leaks here lately. Um, the first of which that we're going to talk about was actually just leaked today. We're going to kind of go through some of these leaks, some of these announcements, and just kind of give our raw thoughts on them before we get into kind of main topics. The first one I want to talk about, if you want to pull up the article here that Jason's got on Kotaku.
okay. The
Um, this new leak revealing Assassin's Creed Odyssey set in ancient Greece, right? What's your raw reaction to this?
um, I mean, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed Origins, so I'm kind of like more excited for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Uh, I would prefer if they continued on with, from what I was reading a little bit ago, is just like I would prefer if they continued at least like somebody's story, like Bayek's or I forget her name, Aya.
Aya,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's kind of the read that a lot of people have on this. What this has not been officially announced yet. I'm sure this is going to be announced at E3. Interesting to me that um, based on Jason's sources that he cites here in the Kotaku piece, um, it is going to come out this year.
mm.
So they are kind of going back to the annual thing, which may or may not be a
that
good thing. I
that
mean,
worries me. See, a part of me is like, just because you like, I don't want it to be turned into like, oh, we found a new formula for the Assassin's Creed games with the way the
right.
game plays. Let's just do it every year. Don't do that. No.
Well, to counteract that point, though, um, Jason says that based on what he's heard is that it's even going to be a little bit more different even than Origins.
Really.
I'm just going to quote him here. Um, Rumors about the next Assassin's Creed have been circulating for months now, some real, some fake, but the one we've been hearing since January is that the game is indeed set in Greece, and that'll be even more of a drastic departure for the series than Origins. And while Origins added Witcher-like RPG elements, Odyssey will bring things even further. Those people said, bringing dialogue options to the
Okay.
series for the first time. You'll be able to play as either a male or female protagonist, although it's not Bayek or Aya, but new heroes. So it sounds like Odyssey may be even more of a true RPG than even Origins was, where you're actually kind of playing your own character in ancient Greece. And now here's the thing: the way this was leaked was weird because it's like a pre-order bonus keychain thing
Hmm.
with like a Greek like kind of
Yeah.
Spartan helmet.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess it's arriving at gaming stores, so maybe they're going to announce this ahead of E3 too. I mean, who knows? But the interesting thing to me is the title, Odyssey, right? So where my head went when I read this was the Odysseus, like Homer's Odyssey, the epic Greek poems, right? Um, I'm wondering if this is going to deal with that at all,
Hmm.
because that would be
Oh,
interesting.
that would. I like some ancient Greek shit. You know, I have no issue with like the setting.
Yeah. In Assassin's Creed, really, you can just put it in any
Oh
setting
yeah,
and it works.
without a doubt.
I just, it's likely going to come out this fall. I hope they don't get too comfortable. Like, I hope Ubisoft isn't like, oh yeah, this works. People liked Origins. Let's, shill out things annually again until people get sick of it again, and then just let me miss it. Like I'm still fucking. I still gotta play Origins. Like I'm probably Odyssey, cool, but
That's gonna be a shitty thing for like if it comes out before you even beat Origins. Like fuck.
that is a very likely possibility.
No, it's definitely a likely possibility. That sucks because it's
It is a very likely possibility. We'll see.
yeah, you got too many damn games on your fucking backlog right now, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just a busy guy. It's like I just beat God of War, and I'm not even close to being done with God of War. I'm like, finally, I beat the story, and I'm like, now I can play the game. I just beat the story for it like recently, and we'll probably do a spoiler cast of that at some point. But we've got so much shit to record here. It's probably going to be after E3,
Yeah.
but we'll probably do a spoiler cast of that at some point. Um, let's move into the next bit of news here. So I've actually been curious to talk to you about this new Pokemon game.
Okay.
Right? Pokemon. It's two versions of the same game. Let's Go Pikachu. Let's Go Eevee. How if you want to pull up
Yeah,
that trailer?
I'll pull it up right now.
How do you feel about this? Like, did you watch this trailer?
I actually haven't seen either of these trailers that we still need to talk about.
Okay, so you can kind of watch it while we're talking about it. So the kind of premise of this is that this is a new Pokemon game. I don't know if this is a straight remake of Pokemon Yellow or if it's just like inspired by Pokemon Yellow, but it takes place in the Kanto region. It features the original like Gen 1 Pokemon, and kind of like Pokemon Yellow, where it's very focused on like Pikachu. Pikachu followed you around and shit like that.
Yeah.
This one is going to be either Pikachu or Eevee.
So this is for the Switch. Okay.
Yeah, this is for the Switch.
It looks
now,
good just from the trailer.
There is still a proper Gen 8 Pokemon game coming next year for Switch.
Okay.
So this is not like this is kind of an experimental kind of thing. I view this game because it has synergy with Pokemon Go, right? I feel like this game is going to sell a lot of fucking Switches. Because Pokemon Go is basically the most popular mobile game like of all time.
Yeah.
And this thing is going to have interesting synergy with Pokemon Go. People are going to I think you can literally bring your Pokemon in from Pokemon Go.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And trade and stuff like that via Pokemon Go. It has like interaction with Pokemon Go.
Holy shit! That's okay.
Yeah, they show it in the trailer, and it's cool, and it has like that weird like Pokeball controller like Joy-Con that it comes with.
Yeah, I can see that. That's what.
Like you can take your Pokemon outside with you, and that's how it interacts with the phone. It's fucking weird, man. Like I'm really intrigued by it.
This is some experimental ass shit I'm seeing right here.
Yeah, and I kind of love it. Like I kind of love the idea. Like it's got me wanting to re-download Pokemon Go, and it's honestly it's gonna be one of those situations where like people who are playing Pokemon Go are gonna see this and like, oh shit, I guess I need a Switch. And the battle system, if you look in the trailer, the battle system is basically the same as it always has been, that simple Pokemon battle system. So I feel like the purpose of this is, I think they want to sell the Pokemon Go players a Switch and basically get them into the core Pokemon games. Like, it's going to be a situation where
it's a long ass fucking trailer.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's a lot to cover.
I know. I was sitting there like watching it. I'm like, damn, this shit's still going on.
Yeah. It's going to be a situation where people who, are big Pokemon Go fans and big Pokemon fans are going to like come into kind of this middle ground. This is almost a stepping stone into playing the proper core games, So you're going to put a Switch in these people's homes. They're going to have Pokemon already in like a kind of half-step proper weird experimental Pokemon experience. And then they're going to get the core game next year. For the console that they now already own. I mean, it's kind of brilliant.
Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. I think I'm going to go for the Eevee if I get it.
Oh, yeah. Totally going for Eevee.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Eevee's the only choice. Pikachu's great. Pikachu's iconic. I love Pikachu, but, like, we've done the Pikachu thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've done Pikachu. Like the Pikachu thing's been done already. Why the fuck am I gonna go for Pikachu again? You know. So yeah, I'm definitely going for Eevee. Way more interesting. So I don't know, like what's now that you kind of know what it is, like are you're down for
Oh
this? It
yes,
sounds like.
I'm down. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I might actually like be re-downloading like Pokemon Go type shit as well.
Right. And it apparently it also has like this update that they've got here on the Kotaku article. The game will also feature a brand new Pokemon and some Pokemon from the Alola region.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
weird. I don't know, man. I think it looks really cool, and it's also got that's another thing. It's got co-op, like
What?
local co-op,
Oh yeah,
like drop in, drop out co-op,
that's awesome.
and like I'm like fucking what,
That's like
like,
insane to me. Like what the fuck?
and it's got me thinking like, what if the next core Pokemon game has some of these features? If the next core Gen 8 Pokemon game has got co-op, you know, that's
I think
fucking nuts.
the next big leap is just to instead of just couch co-op, just do straight up like online co-op. It'd be insane.
Yeah,
Like
that
that'd
would be
be fucking
awesome.
crazy.
Well, that would be kind of a step towards like what's the one thing that people always say they want?
Is
A
it?
Pokemon MMO,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right? Like that's the one thing people always say they want, and that's essentially what that would become if you
yeah.
allowed people to play online co-op in Pokemon. So, I don't know, man. I think it's a really neat idea. I want to support this weird fucked up Pokemon experiment that they got going on. But again, I'm just surprised that it was not revealed at E3. I think this is an E3 worthy announcement,
Yeah, definitely.
you know. But I don't know. I'm very very intrigued, and this thing is gonna. I'm telling you, this thing is gonna move switches, like for sure. Um, let's move on to yesterday's kind of surprise announcement of Fallout 76,
Let me
and
get that
kind of
trailer up real quick.
yeah, go ahead and get that rolling. Um, what little of it there is. I really want to talk about that.
I
That is a
actually haven't
teaser
seen
ass
this at all.
teaser.
Like this is I actually haven't watched this at all. Like I mean I knew about it, but I just didn't watch the actual teaser for it.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
Well, it's got a. I know you have the volume off, but it's got a cool cover of Country Roads on there, which is good. But um, Fallout 76. So by all accounts, this trailer tells us basically nothing about it. Which is what annoys me is like, why are you gonna announce this and tease it? And you got a lot of people, these poor fucks who like think that this is gonna be a proper new Fallout game, and everything we've heard, by all accounts, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and Bethesda is not being forthcoming with the way that they're announcing this game. So I'm like, why announce it at all? Like, why announce Fallout 76 at all if you're not gonna fucking tell us anything about it?
Yeah, it's like what is, this teaser is legit just showing the vault. It's like who gives a
Just locations, basically. It's nothing. It's non-information. It's
Yeah.
nothing. And it doesn't even say if it's coming this year. It doesn't say shit. We don't know anything about it. And like we know what Jason's heard, and we know the kind of hearsay about it, and that is that it's kind of an online survival RPG,
Yeah. Like
a
kind of like
la
Rust or something like that.
right, like Rust or
Yeah.
DayZ or whatever, which is interesting. But I'm just like, why didn't you just save this for E3 when you can actually talk about it? Because if you're not going to talk about it now, you've got all these people holding out hope that it's going to be like a proper new Fallout game, and it's not. You know?
I was talking to Tyler about this game actually in the morning. We were playing a little bit of Battlefield 4.
Mhm.
And he asked me he's like was it supposed to be like an MMO? And I'm like, no, it's not going to be an MMO. It's going to be more of like it's going to actually be something that you're probably going to be into, Tyler, because like Tyler's into those like
He
survival
likes those
esque,
survival
yeah,
games, yeah.
survival esque like Rust sort of games. And he's like, oh
Right.
really? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in it because it's like I like the Fallout world, and I'd probably enjoy a survival game in the the Fallout world. And that's basically exactly what it's going to be because it's just like if you know the lore behind like the fucking games, like Vault 76 is what like opens up like what 20 years after the bombs
Yeah,
basically.
it's 20 years after the
Yeah.
bombs fall. which is juxtaposed to the other games, which are take place hundreds
Yeah,
of years
hundreds of
after
years.
the
So it's
war.
like shit's gonna be rough out there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be very like raw and like uncivilized and stuff like
So I
that.
mean, like, there's a level of like, I'm interested. If anything, like I want to see more, but it's just like because we have legitimately seen nothing at this point.
I'm interested in the idea, but like, I don't know. I'm like, here's my big question. Here's what I was thinking about. Is this going to be free to play?
That's a good question.
I could, I could honestly
I
see
could
this
see it
being a
being
free
free
to
to
play
play and then
thing.
like doing like bullshit microtransactions.
Yeah, just like, just or maybe like very cheap or something like
Yeah,
that. Like I don't know if they're going to charge $60 for this or not. Because there's really not a whole lot we can say about it. I mean, we don't know anything about it.
yeah.
But from what from what we've seen, from what Jason says here in Kotaku and what he's heard and what others have heard, is that yeah, it's going to be a survival RPG heavily inspired by games like DayZ and Rust, according to people familiar with the project. And apparently it is still going to have like a story.
Okay.
It is going to have like quests and stuff like that, and it's also going to feature base building like in Fallout 4, and other survival based and multiplayer mechanics.
Okay.
So
I mean,
I don't know, man.
that's kind of like the thing in like those survival games, like base building and shit. So I'm not really surprised by that.
Right, and from what I understand, this is actually I don't know if you remember when Bethesda announced that game Battle Cry. They were working on like a hero shooter called Battle Cry
Yeah,
a
yeah,
while
yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah.
They opened a new Austin branch of Bethesda for that, and they canceled the game. And now that studio has been working on
We're working
this.
on 76. Okay.
Yeah, and proper Bethesda is like overseeing it, I guess, but they aren't actually working
Well,
on it in a
proper
significant
Bethesda
way.
needs to be giving me information of the new Elder Scrolls.
I don't think you're gonna hear about it.
I know. I
I
know.
really don't. I mean, I think at very best, you'll get a vague ass like something, but I really don't think you're gonna see anything significant about Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I think we're still at least 2 years out. Easy. I think Elder Scrolls 6 is probably a PS5 game.
Damn. Which I'm fine
Um,
with, honestly, because like I am in the mood for like an Elder Scrolls, man.
I am too, or whatever whatever they do next. Which there's been rumors, and maybe this is something that we'll hear about at E3. There's been rumors for a while now that Bethesda's working on a new IP. Um, the rumor was that it was going to be announced last E3, and that didn't wind up happening.
Hmm.
But but yeah, like the from what we've heard, they've been working on a new IP so that it's going to be kind of the triple threat of Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and whatever this new thing is. There's been rumors that it's called Starbound,
Okay.
like a space kind of RPG. So who knows? That's really.
I'd be interested in that, like a space RPG.
I mean, look, Bethesda's a great developer. They're one of the good ones. They're I've shat on them in the past.
We have an
Um,
entire like episode of the podcast where we shit on like developers.
yeah, well, I mean, like, and I think that they deserve it in a lot
Oh
of
no, they
ways.
definitely do. Like,
But they're still, I mean, love them or hate them, like they have these problems, but they're still
oh yeah,
uh, make great games ultimately.
without a doubt.
So I mean, I'm gonna be interested in whatever they do next, for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing their E3 conference this year, because they always say like they've done E3 conferences. I think the like personal press conferences. I think the past like 3 years in a row,
Hmm.
and they've always said like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna do one next year. I don't know if we have enough to talk about. Blah blah blah. But they've done for the past like 3 years. So I guess we'll see. I think they are still going to have some surprises. Like I was telling you, I think Doom 2 is probably going to get announced.
Ooh,
Um, I think that's probably going to be a thing. We'll talk. We'll get into the whole shebang
yeah,
whenever we do our A3 predictions episode. But I think they're going to have some cool shit, even aside from Fallout
yeah, definitely.
76, Rage 2, and stuff like that. Um, one of the so we both saw Solo, Star Wars Story. Did an episode of Shots about it, which will hopefully be live by the time you're listening to this. Um, and depending on how much time I have to edit it, but hopefully it's going to be live by the time you're listening to this. We both saw it, both thoroughly enjoyed it. It's got me, I'm always on a Star Wars kick, Todd. But it's got me thinking more and more about Star Wars and the discourse around Solo, and the
Hmm.
discourse really that started really with the Last Jedi.
It started more with the Last Jedi, but you can even go as far to say it like started with the Force Awakens, actually.
Mm,
Because there's a lot of people like just didn't really like Rey as a character, honestly.
that's
Like,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. I really like the direction that's
I mean,
being taken.
I think again when I've talked about it in the Last Jedi shots is like when I first walked out of that movie, I was like, "What the fuck?" But then it was like as I thought about it, I was like, "Okay, the movie's it's doing new things. I like it. It's cool." But it's
I
just
was
like,
into it from the start,
see,
surprisingly.
here's the thing: the movie. Yeah, I talked about it at like oh shit.
You're
Oh,
good.
talked about it at length, where I was just like, that movie took everything that I wanted to see and just said fuck you. It's like who's Snoke? Who gives a shit?
That's fair. Well, I think some of that I think kind of what that movie was saying was like, does it really matter?
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly. Once you get to that point, it's like okay, yeah. But the thing is, a lot of people aren't like me, and they can't get over that fact,
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of the discourse is coming from. Because I actually like the Last Jedi now. Like after like actually like thinking on it, I'm like I do like the direction it's going. It's because it's gonna be doing new things, and it's like it basically like one of the most interesting things it does is it opens the Force up to everyone at that point.
Right.
It's not just like this whole like Skywalker dynasty shit going on.
Midichlorians.
Yeah,
I can't
that's a
believe
good
that's a thing.
retcon, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Midichlorians. Yeah, no. I just the discourse about Star Wars in general from the kind of vocal Star Wars fans has been really negative, and a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people were burned by Last Jedi. It's a very
Yeah,
divisive movie. I mean, a lot of people did like it. I think the vocal side are the people who didn't,
yeah,
and those people have kind of like taken their opinions of what Star Wars has, I guess, kind of become, and lodged this sort of just like smear campaign almost against Solo.
and it's a damn shame because it's like so. I've been on a couple I've seen a couple Facebook posts about like there's people that are like I did not want to see Solo, but I ended up going because I hated the Last Jedi, but I fucking love Solo, and I'm like
Right.
good. Now spread the word like shit. It's not a
It's a
bad
fucking great
yeah
movie. Like it's just a really good movie. Like I don't know, man. Like it's not everything has to be some amazing. These spin-off movies don't have to be Empire. You know what I mean?
without a doubt.
What frustrates me though is just I guess just the general vibe that like other people can't enjoy things.
Yeah,
Like just the general vibe of like I hate this thing and fuck you for liking it. You know? Like when there was a
you know
long period of time, a long period of time, because I grew up with Star Wars. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was like 6, 7 years old. You know what I mean? Like I've grown up with it, and I grew up with the original trilogy. I didn't see them in theaters, obviously, because I'm not fucking 40. But I I grew up with the original trilogy, and I was there when the prequels were coming out. I saw all the prequels in theaters, and as a teenager, and the prequels were kind of like I was definitely in that camp of like, oh fuck the prequels, blah blah blah. And like after the prequels, like I was not a Star Wars fan for a long time. You
yeah
know what I mean? Like when I was burned, in other words, when I was burned by Star Wars, I didn't say fuck you for liking these. I just stepped back.
yeah
I just stepped back. And I think that's the rational way to approach something when you don't like it anymore. Just step away.
Well,
And who knows?
we live in a world where people aren't really that rational, so
No.
definitely not. Um, Honestly, you know what it reminds me of? The Star Wars fans is like, it reminds me of like Call of Duty fans. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like that shit cannot be. It's either like they do too much or they do too little. Either way, nobody's happy. That's the whole thing. It's like you take a franchise that people love, you're gonna piss somebody off.
Right.
That's kind of where, yeah,
Yeah. It just for me, I'm like, what good is there in going online and like just like being an asshole? Just going online and
it's fun. No,
having
I'm
all
just
this. What's that?
it's fun.
I'm just where like what good does that do? Like what good does it do to spread this word of mouth and tell people not to see some don't support Solo and campaign against like we live in this weird existence where people are like specifically calling out like Kathleen Kennedy, like the new president of LucasArts,
Oh,
where I'm like, what weird existence is this where it's like, oh, and also fuck the president of that company.
yeah.
Like,
That's we do live in a strange timeline. Honestly,
you guys are fucked up, you
yeah.
know, like you guys are fucking weird. Um, like you're weird for that, and that's a weird thing to do. Like you just enjoy yourselves, and if you're not enjoying yourselves, just step back and let other people enjoy themselves. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? It's fun. It's Star Wars. You know, that's what it's all about, man. And like, it's a bummer because like people are taking this and not going to see Solo. Solo tanked,
I
you know,
know.
at the box
Like
office.
that like legitimately pisses me off because that movie's legitimately good.
The movie deserves to do better than it's been doing, man.
Yeah,
And like it's not it fell way short of expectations
yeah.
of the box
And,
office. And
and
like
it's gonna and like the thing with that is like it's gonna hurt future movies. Like,
yeah,
are we even gonna see like a Solo 2 type
who
shit?
knows? Like who knows? Like who knows if there is going to be a Solo 2,
Because
which sucks because
it's a
I'm not
damn
getting into
shame.
spoilers.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna spoil it, but it's a damn shame because I want to see some more.
Not going to get into spoilers, but yeah, there's a lot of potential for future movies. Like Solo could be its own trilogy,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
And and I don't know, it's got me worried about these future movies, the way that the fans have reacted to all this stuff, the way that they're behaving, and it's the vocal minority. I think a lot of people are still having fun with Star Wars. I mean, look, even though Solo fell short of expectations, I mean, it is funny, like when you come out, and I'm pretty sure it's still the highest grossing Memorial Day weekend movie
Yeah,
ever.
it is. It is. Yeah.
Even that though is not good enough. Like it still did like over $100 million that weekend, but that's not considered a success. You know? So I don't know, man. And it just bums me out though to see the discourse about Solo and the way people are kind of treating these movies in general now. It's got me worried for the future. I don't think we're in any danger of Star Wars going away. I don't
No,
think this is going to
that's
affect
like
Star Wars.
we're not at that point yet, but
No, no,
it's still like it hurts. It hurts a little bit seeing like that much hate coming from coming to this franchise.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
it's
just
not
like
like the franchise is like new to that with like we just talked about it with the prequels, but
it just to me, yeah, just if you enjoy something, enjoy it. If
yeah,
you don't enjoy it, step away and let the people that enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like that just it's a simple. It really is as simple as that. And I wish Star Wars fans would stop being such pieces of shit. Um, and that kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk about with that. So we've got all these, uh, potential, spin-off movies. We're gonna start seeing, I think, more and more Star Wars movies as the years progress. We just got Solo. Obviously, we had Rogue One. There's talk of a Kenobi movie.
mm, I'd be so down
Um,
for that. I think we were talking about that yesterday or 2 days ago. I need that.
yeah, Ewan McGregor wants to do it too.
So it's like yes, please, I need it.
So, just like let him do it. Fuck it. So there's been talk of the Kenobi movie. More recently, though, they're not confirmed yet, but the kind of like heard through the grapevine kind of rumor mill has said that James is it Mangold or Manigold or whatever? I think it's Mangold. James Mangold, the writer director of Logan, is attached to the Boba Fett movie now. which apparently is moving forward because the Boba Fett movie was kind of being talked about by Kathleen Kennedy and stuff when they first kind of bought Star Wars. Um, uh, but it was kind of shelved.
Yeah.
Um, and we kind of assumed it wasn't going to happen. Well, now it seems like they're kind of picking it back up, and Boba Fett's going to move forward with this guy, and it got me thinking about what I want to see. I'm a huge Boba Fett fan.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
Yeah, I've been patiently waiting for us to get to this part of the episode. We're waiting for you to blow your load, basically.
I'm a huge fan of Boba Fett, and I'm wearing my Boba Fett shirt right now.
I
Um,
feel like you planned that.
I did. Uh, if I could, I'd walk you over to the shelf in the living room back there that's filled with Boba Fett toys.
How many do you
But
have?
it's growing. I've got I think 9 right now.
Dear Lord, nice.
It's
It
grow-
is kind of interesting as I actually can see your shelf of horrors in the back.
oh yeah, you can see the infamous amiibo shelves back there. Yeah, you see all those things on the wall that I'm pointing to. You've heard us talk about this in the past. This is all; those are all filled with amiibo. Depending on the size of the amiibo, each one of these shelves holds between like 16 and 20.
It's bad. If you
And
thought
there's
we were
more on the
kidding,
top.
it's that bad.
And there's more on the top for like oversized figures like the Breath of the Wild Guardian and the Monster Hunter amiibo and stuff like that. Yeah, it's bad. But yeah. Anyway, long story short, big Boba Fett fan. um, so I've got my own kind of ideas of what I was kind of thinking of for this Boba Fett movie that I wanted to dig into a little bit with you and just sort of bounce ideas off of you and
Okay.
how you first of all, how do you feel about the idea of the Logan guy like taking over Boba Fett?
Uh, I mean, I have no issue with that. I think that make me. I want that maybe if they do a Boba Fett movie, it can be gritty and dark. You know, what I mean, you like get into some like underbelly shit.
Well, I think it will be. I think it
Yeah.
has to be, right?
Yeah.
So like my sort of take on this, right? I think they I think the way the script is probably looking, and I don't know this for a fact. This isn't even confirmed. This is all just
Conjecture.
conjecture. This is all
Yeah.
just fanboy speculation, right? Yeah, exactly. This is all just vomit. Just fucking just Star Wars vomit, right? But what um what I'm kind of thinking is that they tap this guy because I think that this movie is going to be my vision, I guess, for this movie is that's in like a 3-act structure.
Okay.
Um, the first third of it being heavily involved with the relationship between Django and Boba, because what is lost on a lot of people is the relationship that Jango Fett had with Boba Fett,
Yeah.
because even though obviously all the clones were based off of Jango Fett, he treated Boba Fett as a son
Yeah.
and loved him,
Yeah.
right? Um, was a very stern father and a disciplinarian for sure, but loved Boba Fett
Mm-hmm.
and raised him as a son, even though he was ultimately a clone. He was his perfect clone, and he cared for him. And another thing people forget is Boba Fett's father was fucking killed right in front of him.
Yep.
Not just killed, decapitated.
Yep.
You know, by
I mean,
by Mace Windu.
they even have the shot where where he's like sitting there holding
Right.
the helmet. It's just like, damn.
It's a life-changing experience. So I feel like the first act of this Boba Fett movie really is, kind of building on the relationship, the father-son, almost like how it is in Logan,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the father-child relationship between Jango Fett and Boba Fett, and kind of really deep diving into that, and literally lead up to the moment where he's decapitated, right,
Yeah.
and killed in front of Boba Fett, and that's the Act One break.
Okay.
And they can pepper that full of like nice father-son moments, right, and lessons and all that shit. Act Two could be sort of the sort of kind of teenage adulthood years where he is kind of a practicing bounty hunter and learning the ropes from Aura Singh And this is where you get into the sort of more nitty gritty, um, the sort of like you were saying, like the
Yeah,
underbelly,
yeah,
kind of really getting into the shit. We kind of see some of that already in the Clone Wars series,
yeah.
but really dig into that, really expand on like what did happen with Boba Fett when after Jango Fett was killed. You know what I mean? Like where did he go from there, and how did he spend that time, and what what sort of lessons did he learn, and how did he become that person? I think all of this is going to be important because I think that we end the movie with kind of catching up. It's kind of revealed that this has all been uh, kind of flashbacks to Boba Fett's past.
Okay.
And I think in the third act we reveal that Boba Fett is now kind of like older. He escaped from the Sarlacc pit, which has been canon in the kind of now legends. It's not canon anymore,
See, but they could
but
easily make it canon. Like that's kind of the thing with like
easily.
that's the thing with legends in general is just like they kind of like pick and choose shit they like. Like
Right.
was it like
We
Admiral
could
Thrawn? Like he's canon now
right.
type shit.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thrawn's canon now, and and like again, no spoilers, but Solo kind of pulls a lot of like extended universe
Hmm.
old legends canon and makes that canon
Yeah.
now. Um, but no, I think that it'd be interesting to maybe Act Two literally ends with him escaping the Sarlacc pit,
That
and
that'd be cool to see on a big screen. Actually,
right.
that'd be awesome. Actually.
Like we get these kind of like these kind of vignettes of Boba Fett's life post Jango Fett's death, where we're learning about him as a person and letting him and seeing him learn these kind of like lessons that make him into the bounty hunter he is,
Mm.
and then see him kind of meet his end at the Sarlacc and see him escape it, and then we cut to the reveal that he's got an apprentice now,
Ooh.
and that he's training basically the next generation, and a whole new character, um, a whole new kind of bounty hunter character. Boba Fett is now older. I think you could literally, and it'd be really cool to do this. Old Boba Fett, basically Logan at this point,
Yeah.
um, could literally be played by the same actor who played Jango Fett, right back in
Yeah.
the day. And I think it would be really really cool to see that sort of like kind of end the movie with that, and then have Boba Fett sequels where it's now in kind of like the I guess present, where he's training this other kid, and maybe this other kid becomes a side character in these other spin-off movies, right? I don't know.
That
I like
that'd
the
be
idea of
cool.
Boba Fett
Honestly,
training the
I don't
next
think
Boba.
it would happen, but it'd be so cool.
I don't think so either, but
Yeah.
that's where my head went. Um, when they when they said that this guy was attached, that's where my head went.
Hmm. See if he
Because
kind of does like the whole like Loganification type of shit.
yeah, like the Loganification of Boba Fett and kind of the humanization of Boba Fett. Because
Well,
there's a lot that the
there's a
movies
lot that
don't touch on.
they didn't really explore that character at all. You know, it'd be
No,
really cool to actually explore that character. Because like even in Clone Wars, like was Django really ever like explored? Not really.
no. I mean, what really makes this guy tick? Like
Yeah.
like
Like
what's
why? Like it's like why did Django want a son? Type of shit.
right? We can deep dive into all that early stuff.
Hmm.
We can get vignettes of, and this is stuff that we could also touch on in sequels.
Yeah.
Stuff that happened. I mean, there's just that huge gap of time between Jango Fett's death and him on Jabba's like pleasure barge, where he ultimately dies at the Sarlacc. Um, a huge gap of time where we don't know what the fuck he was doing, you know. And we get we know that he was with Ara Singh, and we know these little like snippets, but there's a lot of wiggle room narratively, right? There's a lot that a good writer could explore,
Yeah.
and I like the idea of paving the way for a new character. I like the idea of having kind of like, because that's the thing is like I remember this so vividly because it pissed me off. Um, before The Force Awakens came out, they were like, oh, this is Captain Phasma. She's kind of the new series Boba Fett, right? Like even officially, like even JJ Abrams was saying like she's kind
Really?
of the new Boba Fett. Oh yeah, and like she just wasn't.
No,
You
no,
know,
no, not at all. Like honestly,
she,
I feel like they really misused Phasma throughout those movies.
yeah, Phasma's one of my biggest misgivings with.
Yeah,
She's
it's just,
cool.
she could have been something, but they just didn't do shit with her.
Yeah, she is cool and she has potential, but yeah, they didn't really do much. But like I feel like current Star Wars canon doesn't really have its Boba Fett.
Yeah,
And I would love the notion of the new Boba Fett being trained by Boba Fett,
yeah,
basically.
that would be cool. Like, and yeah,
And I think that if anybody was going to do it, it would be this guy because he's so good at, as we saw with Logan, like he's I would have to assume being hired because he's known for making these sort of like father-child relationship
hmm
things.
yeah,
Um and I think that the Logan influence is going to be worn very much on its sleeve with this new Boba Fett movie. If it's real at all. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's just working on it.
yeah.
Maybe it's like maybe they went to him and they said, "Hey, like bang out a script and we'll see what we think about it." But I don't know. That's just kind of my rough. I don't have like specific. I could think for until the end of time about Boba Fett related scenes that I think could possibly happen in his past. But roughly, I think that kind of like basic three-act structure of child with Django, middle with like Ara Singh and kind of like learning about kind of what made him him, and then end with
Yeah.
with training the
If
apprentice.
they handle like the pacing and the transitions between each of those, like if that was like if they actually did something like that, it'd be awesome.
Well, because you can make it feel cohesive because like the pacing wise, literally literally we don't know really what happened to Boba, like what happens right after Django
Yeah.
dies. You know,
Like how did
like
he
what
get
happens then?
off Genosis or whatever?
Right. What
Yeah.
happens then? Like we don't fucking know. So
Yeah.
like the pacing could feel like it's telling kind of Boba Fett's story from that point that we haven't seen it
hmm
before, and then moving into these sort of like things that we've never seen before, especially on the big screen, with Ara Singh, who I guess minor Solo spoilers was name dropped in Solo.
Yep.
Um, I think intentionally. I think if there is going to be a Boba Fett Solo movie, she is dollars to fucking donuts, Todd, going to be in there. Um, so I think that I think that was intentional. I think it was an intentional name drop to kind of plant that seed and put her name in your head,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I don't know, man. I like the idea of this, and I don't know if this is the route they're gonna go. We don't even know if it's fucking real, but this is all just fanboy, like I said, fanboy Star Wars vomit, and I don't know. It's something that I spend a lot of time thinking about Boba. So it's when I read this news, I was excited because I think that this could mean that this movie is in good hands, and I hope it is, and I hope it gets made,
yeah.
and I hope people keep supporting this stuff, and don't listen to these people online who are trying to kill Star Wars. Star Wars will never die. I don't know. That's all I got, man. Was
It's.
there a
I think that's kind of it, man. I don't think we had really much left to talk about.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good to wrap it up. Good little experiment here. We'll see how this goes. And yeah, if you didn't know, you guys have been listening to Nerd Bourbon, the only show where you can get this nerdy Seth the Hutt, which is what I should have introduced myself as. Vomit about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
If you guys like what
What's the
you've
name
been
of that
hearing,
fucking piece of shit that's next to Jabba?
that's next to Jabba.
The little fucking creature. Does that creature got a name?
Oh yeah, that's Salacious Crumb, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me now.
I'll be Jabba, you'll be Salacious Crumb. That's got to be the thumbnail, right?
Yeah.
If you guys like what you've been hearing and you want to hear, throw us that delicious follow or sub on whatever service you're listening to us on, even if that service is Twitch right now. I doubt it is. But if you guys have any questions, thoughts, comments, or concerns, or maybe you have an idea for a topic you'd like us to cover, leave that for us, and we'll get to it. Tell your friends about us. It's really the only way we have for us to grow. Get fucking dunked on. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.